Hello and welcome to another segment brought to you by Fast Education Consulting. I'm your host Ali Sachu, and in this two-part video we will discuss off-campus housing. The first part will focus on the different options available for off-campus housing, and the second part will get into the nitty-gritty around housing, such as what to expect to pay, sharing, and other things to consider. Stay tuned. FastEdu.ca, inspiring great minds. Thank you for joining me and welcome to this two-part series where there is quite a bit to cover, hence the split. In this video, let's look at the different options you have when considering off-campus housing and define them so you have a better understanding. There are four typical types of rental or off-campus housing options, and we can further break down the accommodation by shared or non-shared options. The four are condominium housing, also known as a condo in short, apartment rental in a building, house rental, and a basement rental. A condominium is probably the most expensive of the four, and typically so because of the extra amenities that it has to offer. A condominium is not a rental building, so it's usually owned by an individual who rents it out. And the building is made up of families that own the units and sometimes some that rent the place from others who own the units. The extra amenities may include games room, it might have a pool table or a table tennis table or a foosball table. They typically have swimming pools, saunas, and steam rooms, gyms as well, and so on. Now, depending on the location, number of bedrooms, and the kinds of amenities available, the rent amount will differ significantly. Next up is apartment rental building. An apartment is usually owned by a company that is in the business of renting. Everyone in your building is a renter, and usually there are fewer amenities. They can sometimes be roomier than a condo unit. They tend to be slightly less expensive per square foot and come in a variety of configurations, such as a bachelor unit, a one-bedroom, a two-bedroom, and sometimes a three-bedroom unit. Rarely, but sometimes they'll have an outdoor swimming pool, and even more rare is an indoor swimming pool, but not too many amenities in an apartment rental building. Next up is a house rental. A house will again typically be a full home, rented to an individual who might find friends to split the rent cost. And this would be the most expensive option if you're not splitting costs. Having said that, it is more common to find house rentals where someone might rent you a room in the house who is typically an owner of the house. Finally, there is a basement apartment, which is typically below ground rental. Some basements come with a separate entrance, so there's no interaction with the homeowner or landlord. And some require you to use the main entrance, but eventually leading to your private unit. Now, all of these accommodations have the opportunity to be shared. For example, you could have a condo rental with two bedrooms, where you might find someone to share the rent with. Alternatively, you might find someone else who is renting a room in their condo unit or apartment unit. The ultimate responsibility, though, is on the person who is on the lease. In other words, if you're the lease owner and you have to pay the full rent for a year, then there's no other option. Whether you have a roommate or not, you're going to have to pay that rent. House sharing can come in various forms too. You might have a room in a house where other students rent and you share a kitchen and a bathroom. Or you may be the only rental in a family home where you might share the family kitchen. Some rare occasions, landlords will offer a meal plan or 1 or 2 meals a day, but typically there is a kitchen available that you can use. A basement unit can be just a single unit, but it's more common to have more than one unit shared by a couple people, or an entire basement with, 2 bedrooms rented to a young family, for example. It's important to consider all these options when thinking about your off-campus housing. I encourage you all to engage in the comments below and encourage my viewers to share their experiences as well for all of us to learn and share our ideas. I'll do my best to answer any questions you might have, and in the second video, we will look at what might be some considerations to keep in mind when choosing off-campus housing. Until next time and until the next video, fastedu.ca, inspiring great minds.